Good afternoon, I'm Susie Nordquist. This is your midday news fix for Thursday, the 25th of July. A child abuse survivor says leaders of institutions where abuse happened need to step aside. The Royal Commission of Inquiry into Abuse in Care estimates 200,000 of about 655,000 people in care were abused between 1950 and 2019. Abuse and neglect was widespread in state and faith-based institutions. Survivors Network of those abused by priests national leader Christopher Longhurst told Newstalk ZB's Canterbury Mornings those in power need to be empowering survivors.
The only people who can be trusted to lead that change, in my view, are survivors who have been through it, who are in a safe space today, who are stronger because of it.
And one survivor says there are some people who need to hang their heads in shame. Keith Whiffen, who suffered abuse at a state-owned boys' home, says historically their stories have been silenced or covered up by high-ranking officials. But he says that has finally changed.
Survivors carried themselves with great dignity, and it was very uplifting to be amongst so many of them in the public gallery.
A lack of education could be contributing to the record number of young New Zealanders with hearing loss. Recent figures show 1 in 5 Kiwis under 19 are diagnosed with hearing loss. 20% of Year 9 students report tinnitus or hear ringing in their ears, which without education can be overlooked. National Foundation for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Chief Executive Natasha Gallardo says up until their foundation launched a program within schools, there were no resources.
There has been no program or anything available. There's a misconception that hearing loss can only affect older people. That's absolutely not the case.
Belief that gang tension is no higher than normal at Otago Prison following recent attacks on staff. The Department of Corrections has confirmed a prisoner struck a staff member on the head at the facility on Monday. Jamie Cunningham reports.
It's the third attack on an Otago prison officer since April. General Manager Dave Miller says the perpetrators were from the same gang, but there's no evidence to suggest the assaults are linked. He says gang tensions are constantly monitored and Corrections has invested in tools to keep their staff safe.
The government is open to a partial sell-off of Kiwi Bank. The state-owned bank is expanding, but needs a lot more capital to be able to challenge the big four Australian-owned banks. The Herald's Janae Tipshraeny has been speaking to the shareholding ministers. She says they're not wedded to keeping Kiwi Bank in complete government ownership, but that doesn't mean they will rush out and sell it to foreign investors. In sport, the latest NBA basketball broadcasting rights deal has been confirmed. Walt Disney's ESPN, Comcast-owned NBC Universal and Amazon have clinched the spoils in an 11-year contract valued at $130 billion. Auckland FC have signed Japanese international Hiroki Sakai for their maiden season in football's A-League. And New Zealand football boss Andrew Pragnell is calling for FIFA to take urgent action against the Canadian women's team after staff members used an illegal drone at their training sessions. I'm Susie Nordquist and that's your latest news fix. We will be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.